Hello and welcome to Create the Flow. I'm Monica Freeman, host and founder of Monica Freeman Studios and Unewell. I am here to guide you in aligning with your soul's purpose, trusting your inner voice, and building a life that you truly love. You were born with a purpose, and your intuition already knows the way. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's been a minute. So much has happened this year. It's interesting. At the end of 2025, I had a very specific vision of how 2026 was going to play out. And so far, it hasn't played out that way at all. It's actually been a beautiful year, but it's definitely been a surprising year. And that's what brings me to today's topic. When life starts lifing and things are not happening the way you want them to. The patience, the endurance, the consistency that you sort of have to build within you to keep that momentum and that stamina going. I know for myself, there have been a lot of decisions made this year that were not on my checklist, but they were decisions I had to make in order to see the bigger picture play out in real time. And if you are in a chapter or a season of life right now where you feel like everything is on pause or it's kind of stalled, there's no momentum, or maybe it's not going in the direction you thought, I know a lot of people are really battling the millennial career crisis. AI has kind of come in so quickly and consumed the market, taken jobs, and sort of shifted the way in which we communicate with each other, the kind of content that we post, the kind of businesses that we want to incorporate and run. And that is one of the reasons why I stopped showing up on social media, because last year I really had this inkling that business, the way I was teaching it, wasn't ever going to look the same. And I no longer wanted to teach tactics and sales funnels and things that you could easily get from AI. It felt like entrepreneurship was not necessarily a dying or a sinking ship, but it was not a lucrative industry from the perspective that I was teaching it. And more than that, it was no longer aligned with my heart, because for anybody who's an OG here, then you know that my business was my life. And it's something that I don't take for granted one bit. I am so grateful. But that being said, there was a really rough patch where I experienced a dark night of the soul and I had to take a 1-year sabbatical. I lost a lot of money during that time, but I also healed tremendously during that time. Years of healing that finally were tapped into. And that healing shifted everything. It changed my outlook on life and opportunities and people and communication and experiences. And it made me a different person. And for that, I am grateful. So now I'm able to accept what is happening and kind of move with that flow as I create my own, because I trust that the universe has my back, that what is happening for my greatest good. And I know my body so well that I can lean into the obstacles and lean away from obstacles. So it's kind of like, this may be an obstacle because it's a challenge or something I have to get through to get to the other side, or this might be an obstacle because it's in the way and it's trying to redirect me somewhere else. And I can navigate that and be discerning about which is which. So if you're in this chapter where you really don't know which way to go, left or right, and you kind of feel alone, because sometimes when we're in the thick of it, it is a very lonely place, because a lot of times other people may relate, but sometimes they may not. Their life and their journey might look a little bit different than yours, and it's really hard to be in the same place at the same time with someone else. And you may be experiencing something that makes you feel alone. But I want you to know that it's in these moments when you are truly alone, or where you are in that situation where you have to figure out how to create the next phase of your life, where you have to figure out what's best. It's in that when you start embodying your highest self. And what I mean by your highest self is when you start to make choices like the version of you who has the thing that you want. When you start to wake up early, when you start to show up and do the extra work that you didn't want to do today, when you start to work out and you eat right and you make yourself available and you go to sleep and you get quality sleep, just doing those little things that change your life. Obviously, those are just a few examples. There's plenty of other ways that you can embody your highest self. Those are just the obvious. But it's in this time, in this middle or this gray area, I'm calling it the gray year because for me, it feels like there's not a lot of black and white. And I'm having to be very quiet and tune into my inner voice to get through this gray area, to actually hear what is crystal clear, because the clarity does feel so gray right now. No matter how much I meditate and no matter how many times I try to journal on this, I still find myself going in a circle sometimes because the answer hasn't been ready to come out. And I'm okay with that. I truly don't think that we are faced with things because life is trying to hand us a curveball or make life difficult. I think life is always directing us to the place we're meant to be, but sometimes the challenges that we have to overcome and the obstacles that we have to go through feel so lonely and so hard that those challenges make us feel like life is against us instead of working for us. I just can see so many beautiful things that have happened in my life because I'm willing to work with that energy. I'm not trying to work against it, I'm working with it. And I know that wherever you are in this chapter of 2026, that's possible for you too. Whether you're discouraged about work right now and making money, because a lot of people are in that situation, this is a really challenging year for almost everybody I've spoken to. But the good thing about challenges is everything's like a pendulum. You can only swing so far one way before it has to come back the other. And I think if you are in a challenging situation now, this is a really good time to look inward and think about what the universe is mirroring to you and how you can work on whatever is maybe hidden deep within you, whatever those subconscious beliefs are, whatever's blocking you from getting to the other side. I know last year I started building You Newell and it felt like almost a dead end street by the end of 2025 because what I'm envisioning for You Newell requires so much capital. And what I actually have the bandwidth to put together up front, they're not a good match. And I know that that was discouraging to me, but I had to take a step back and tell myself, just because I have this idea that things are supposed to happen on my timeline at this specific moment, I have to accept that that's not reality. And what the universe has for me is so much greater. It is going to happen at the exact right time because I have so much faith in the universe, in the timing of my life. And I know that it's all working out. So I have decided to just take my vision and simplify it into one small thing every day. Make one small conscious choice every single day toward You Newell, and eventually we will get to the finished product. And it might take 2 years, it might take 10 years, but I'm here for that because I'm part of that journey. And it's not very gray when you look at it from the lens of it's going to happen and we're just taking it a step at a time. So wherever you are in this process, in your journey, in this mid-year of 2026, allow yourself to be present and think about what you really want. Think about what's possible for you. Be open to doing something that maybe doesn't feel ideal right now. For instance, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not making money and you have to go back to corporate, or you have to take clients that maybe are for a different area of interest. So maybe you have a few different services and one of them is your least favorite. I think at some point we have to be willing to expand our vessel to receive. We have to be willing to go that extra mile, to do that extra thing in order to receive the thing that we really want. And maybe that's part of co-collaborating with the universe and working in tandem, is showing that you are showing up for yourself, like showing the universe that you are going to keep showing up. So today, please stay in faith, stay in the energy that you had when you started, and know that there is still 6 months left in this year. Everything is possible for you. And the journey is beautiful, even the tough times, because it's in those moments that we learn so much about ourselves and that we get really consciously aware of what we need in this chapter and we connect with the divine. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like more information, you can follow along on Instagram at Create the Flow Podcast or find me personally at Monica Freeman. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend.